All right, what is up, everybody? Back for another weekly stream. Good to see you. It's me, it's you. We are all here together, and I am excited to go over a bunch of new Duskmorn spoilers with you guys. We're also going to be, after we take a look at the Duskmorn spoilers, we're going to play some crazy standard brews, as always, because you know me, I'm always brewing absolute jank. And boy, there has been some crazy stuff spoiled since our debut stream on Saturday. So let's go ahead and get right into that. Hey, Tutlopper, good to see you. So let's go ahead and swap over here to mythicspoiler.com, where I like to see all my spoily goodness. They're usually pretty quick to have everything that gets spoiled up. So some of the stuff I haven't even seen yet, so you'll be getting some of my neat live reactions to that. So let's go ahead and start with the first card here. What's going on there? You'll have to tell me how to pronounce your name, because I don't want to say it wrong, because I think it's in a language that I don't speak. But so let's go ahead and start taking a look at these. I got my nifty spyglass here so that you guys can see, so that I don't have to zoom it in super huge the rest of the screen. So we've got the Roller Crusher ride. What is this nonsense? We've got X2 in a red for a legendary enchantment with Delirium. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player while there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, it deals double that damage instead. So a 3-mana enchantment that doubles up Anton. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't, because it looks like an H, at least as far as I can see in the chat, so I didn't want to say it wrong. So welcome, Anton, good to see you. So for 3 mana we get an enchantment that, as long as we have Delirium, which is really not that hard, especially in the current standard, to double up damage, non-combat damage. So burn spells, creatures that deal damage via triggers, things like that, anything that's not combat. And then it deals X damage to each of up to X target creatures. Wow. All right, so we're looking at, so let's say we pay 1, so we deal 1 damage. It doubles it to 2 though, so we have to keep that in mind. So this grows exponentially very quickly. So if we pay 4, we deal 2 damage to something, and then we get the enchantment. If we pay 5, we deal 2 damage to 2 targets. So 4 damage to 2 targets. That's pretty crazy. 5 mana, deal 4 damage to 2 targets, and then continue to persist this effect. And it only gets better the more mana you pay. 6 mana turns into 6 damage to 3 targets. Like, that's crazy. That looks pretty sweet. Welcome to anybody who's joining. If you're just coming in, make sure you hit that like button, and so we can get this out there to more people. The more the merrier. I love chatting with you guys, and if there's more people here, there's more chatting, which is fun. So now we've got Marina Vendrill's Grimoire. 5 and a blue legendary artifact. When it enters, if you cast it, draw 5 cards. You have no maximum hand size, and you don't lose the game for having 0 or less life. Whenever you gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, discard that many cards. And then if you have no cards in hand, you lose the game. So it is pertinent that you have to actually, like, let's say somehow you have 0 cards in hand, right? You still have to take damage for this to kill you, because it says whenever you lose life, discard that many cards. Then if you have no cards in hand, you lose the game. So this is pretty cool. I mean, it's a interesting control card to just like keep yourself alive against aggro decks and things like that. Like you slap this down, and yeah, it's 6 mana. It doesn't impact the board directly right that second, but it effectively gains you 5 life by drawing 5 cards. What's up, Mobius? Welcome. By drawing you 5 cards, and then whenever you lose life, you discard that many cards, but you get to pick, so it's not like it's random. So I don't know, this is kind of interesting. This might actually be something that encourages more people to play ridiculous 200 card decks. We'll have to see. Fear of Burning Alive. 6 mana, 4/2 red, 4/4. When it enters, it deals 4 damage to each opponent. Delirium, whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage if there are 4 or more types, it deals that amount of damage to target creature that player controls. That's pretty cool. So you burn their face and then it burns a creature they control. Not bad for an uncommon. Cynical Loner. 2 mana 3/1, can't be blocked by glimmers. Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if it's tapped, you may search your library for a card and put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. That's cool. Talk about a reanimation helper right there. Very cool. All right, 1 second here. Okay. All right, we got Saw. Just Saw. Nice and simple. 2 mana, equipped creature gets +2/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may sacrifice a permanent other than... Yeah, the Convoke is going to be really good. Sacrifice permanent other than that creature or Saw if you do draw a card. So 2 mana +2/+0, equip 2. It's not crazy, but it lets you like sacrifice like map tokens and I don't know. If you can draw enough cards, the Grimoire could keep you alive. I don't know. It's probably not going to see constructive play, but you never know. Like, there's so many cards that people look at and they're like, oh, that's too slow. You know, you look at something like the Landfall Lizard, and you're like, okay, well, the World Soul Rage deck isn't good anymore because of all the new Capenna lands rotated, right? And so everybody thought that deck was going to go away, but there's still a version of the deck. Is it tier 1? No, but it's good enough. Like, so it could see some play. It's probably not going to go win a tournament or anything, but that's not what we're here. That's not what we're about on this channel. We're about having fun and making people upset in fun ways. So I don't think this is too crazy. Shrewd Storyteller. 3 mana, 3/3, 1 a green and a white. Survival at the beginning of your second main phase. If it's tapped, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Nothing too crazy there, but a nice little counter synergy. Haunted Screen. 3 mana. Whoa, this adds all 5 colors. But oh, well, I guess there's lots of 3 mana rocks that do that. I don't know why, just the way that they designed this made it look so much more flashy. Yes, I did see the new ley lines, and we're going to get to those. So it taps for Orzhov colors, or you can pay life to add the other 3 colors, and you can pay 7 to put 7 counters on Haunted Screen, and it becomes a 0/0 spirit in addition to its other types. Interesting card. I don't think it's anything too crazy. Attack in the Box. I like this name. 3 mana 2/4. Whenever it attacks, you may have it get +4/+0 until end of turn if you do sacrifice it at the beginning of the end step. It's a nice little limited card. Do we have an over under on the red one to see how long it stays legal and I don't know. I know it enables a turn 2 kill, but it's probably pretty sparse for that to happen. Like, it's one of those things where you could just mulligan for the 4 cards you need, but yeah, no, I get what you're saying, Anton. It's a neat card. It might be a fun way to experiment, or just even if it just keeps you alive for a couple extra turns, that might be all you need. All right, so sorry, I'm going too far now. We got Cursed Windbreaker. 2 and a blue. When Cursed Windbreaker enters, Manifest Dread, then attach. So this is basically the Cryptic Coat from Murders. They just made new Cryptic Coat, except this one gets flying instead of being unblockable, and this one's kind of good because at least instead, well, I guess it's better and worse. It's better because you can actually equip it to something else and give it flying, but worse because you can't bounce it to your hand and re-manifest. So interesting card. Cryptic Coat saw some play, so maybe this will. I like this card a lot. Insidious Fungus. 1 mana for a 1/2 fungus. Pay 2 mana, sacrifice it, choose one, destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, or draw a card. Then you may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. So this is pretty nice for a ramp deck because you play it on 1, you can use it to block on 2, and then sacrifice it to maybe put an extra land from your hand into play. You get to draw a card, so you're replacing the land if you don't already have one if you don't have multiples in your hands. So I like this card a lot. This card, this is a heck of an uncommon. Flood Pits Drowner, 1 and a blue, Merfolk, Flash, Vigilance, and it's a 2/1. When it enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. And it also has pay 1 and a blue and tap it, shuffle Flood Pits Drowner, and target creature with a stun counter on it into their opponent's libraries. This is crazy for an uncommon. Like, it's pretty solid by itself. It's basically tap a creature, put a stun counter on it, but you get a 2/1 with Vigilance out of it. Then you can attack with it and then shuffle it like on your turn. And it doesn't say shuffle it and a creature that has a stun counter on it from Flood Pits Drowner. It just says one that has a stun counter on it. And there are tons of things in Standard that put stun counters on things, including a Froggy Boy that we all know and love from the last set. So this card might actually maybe see some play in like a weird like tempo-y flash stun counter kind of list. Like this, being able to get rid of anything, you completely ignore death triggers, all that stuff. Like, this is really cool. I like this card a lot. Savior of the Small, 4 mana, 3/4 with survival at the beginning of your second main phase. If it's tapped, return target creature with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand. If it said battlefield, I was about to lose my mind. But to your hand, not bad. It's a good way to rebuy stuff, but definitely not a constructed card. Cult Healer, 3 mana 3/3 with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, or whenever you fully unlock a room, Cult Healer gains lifelink until end of turn. It's okay. Trapped in the Screen, basically an Oblivion Ring with Ward 2. Creature or enchantment, so it doesn't hit anything. It hits a creature or an enchantment. So Stalked Researcher, 2 mana 3/3 defender. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, you can have it attack as though it didn't have defender. That's actually not terrible. I mean, it's a common, but I mean, if you're playing a deck where this is something you're triggering pretty often, 2 mana 3/3s aren't bad. Fear of the Dark, we have a 4 mana 5/5. Whenever it attacks, if defending player controls no Glimmer creatures, it gains Menace and Death Touch until end of turn. That's actually not bad for a common. Very good and limited. All right, now my fancy glass does not turn these sideways, unfortunately, so you're gonna have to bear with me as I read these. Glassworks, 2 and a red. Whenever you unlock it, it deals 4 damage to target creature and opponent controls, and then 5 in a red at the beginning of your end step. This room deals 1 damage to each opponent. This plays pretty nicely with all the like doubling damage effects, or like Odor Axonil, things like that. Is pretty sweet. So this is pretty cool. I like that a lot. Vicious Clown, that's some creepy artwork. 3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less enters, Vicious Clown gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Nothing crazy. If it had Trample or something, maybe. I like this card a lot. Untimely Malfunction. This is going to be a nice sideboard card. Destroy a target artifact. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target, or 1 or 2 creatures can't block this turn. This is a really versatile spell. This might actually even make it into the main deck of red based decks, not just mono red. So we'll have to see, but this is very, very versatile. I like that because I mean, being able to change the target of their removal spell to kill their own thing is crazy fun. I know that because I actually have a deck that is built specifically around doing things like that, which I might play for you guys tonight, so we'll see. Threats around every corner, 3 and a green. When threats around every corner enters, Manifest Dread. Whenever a face down permanent you control enters, search your library for a basic land and put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. This is probably, I guess it's not that slow. Like, if you think about it, you're paying 4 mana for a 2/2 and a land. That's about the rate you would get for that, right? Like, a bear costs 2, and the bear could be better than a bear, and you're getting a basic land, so you're fixing your mana, and then it continues to benefit the board. So if you're playing like, and the cool part is all this Manifest Dread stuff and all these face down entering, turning face up, all these other, like, we've got all the stuff from Murders at Karlov Manor with Disguise and Cloak and all that stuff. There's some really cool cards like Vanifar and Yaris that kind of work with all this stuff. So there could, I'm really excited to actually experiment with this stuff, because I actually had a very successful Yaris Vanifar teamer deck that did really well back when Murders of Karlov Manor released. So very neat. Spine Seeker Centipede. We got a 3-mana 2/1. When it enters, search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand. Then Delirium, it gets +1/+2 and has Vigilance as long as there are 4 or more card types. So it just becomes a 3/3. This feels pretty meh. Like, feels like a limited mana fixer. Don't know what this does, so we're going to click on it. As an additional cost, to cast the spell, pay 2 or sacrifice an enchantment or creature. So 1 red, and you have to sacrifice, pay 2 life. No, pay 2 mana. So it's either 4 mana or you sack an enchantment or creature. Traitorous Diplomacy deals 5 damage to target creature. If that creature died this turn, exile instead. So it's basically is it an instant? It is an instant. So it's if you have like map token, no, it has to be enchantment. So roll tokens, maybe if you have like a roll token laying around, like you could like play like some of the creature. I actually just built a random I actually just built a random deck today that was basically just Wilds of Eldraine standard just for fun. So you could like sacrifice like cursed roll tokens to like deal 5 damage to something. But I mean, it kind of works the same way as Candy Grapple does in that kind of deck. So nothing too crazy, but definitely a cool potential. And you can still just pay 4 mana for it. We've got Bottomless Pool Locker Room. Whenever you unlock this door, return up to 1 target creature to its owner hand for 1 mana. Then for 5 mana, whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's all right. We have another card that lets everything. There's a new glimmer that lets everything draw a card when it hits, not just 1 or more. I like this card a lot. 5 mana, 5/5 trample haste. The spell can't be countered. One of my favorite things to ever be put on a card. This spell can't be countered. I love that text. It's one of my favorite text lines on any card. And it's a 5/5 trample haste. It's nothing crazy, but that's not a bad stat line at all. Like, and the fact that it can't be countered is sweet. And then for 4 mana, if you have Delirium, you can return it from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. And then if you can blink it, the finality counter goes away. Very cool. So I like this card a lot. I don't know if it's going to see standard play, but I'm going to mess around with it because reasons. All right, this card, I actually have gotten, I posted about this on Facebook earlier, and I got a lot of mixed responses about this card. Everyone's like, oh, it's too slow, too slow. And everyone else is like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Hey, what's going on, Jeff? I think this card is crazy. I think it is legitimately crazy. Yeah, sure. It doesn't directly impact the board, you could say, but who says you're not going to have a creature on the field to power this up? So, I mean, if you have any creature on the battlefield, it's a 5/5 for 4, which is not bad as a blocker. And then on every subsequent turn, everything that you do is that mills lands. When it attacks, you mill, you get lands. You could play Aftermath Analyst, mill, get lands. There are tons and tons of good mill cards for self-milling that get you instants and sorceries out of your graveyard or whatever, and then you get all the extra lands, and it's all of them. It's not just a land. It's not just when you get to pick one. It's when any 1 or more lands are put into your graveyard from the library, put them onto the battlefield tap. This is crazy. I guarantee you some kind of crazy mid-range doppelgang list pops up with this card. Like, this card's awesome. I'm so excited to try to break this thing. So sorry. Allergies are not a fun thing. All right. This one is crazy too. All right, so this is our mythic room. We got Funeral Room for 3 mana. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I like the effect. I think it's an awesome effect. It's basically the same effect that you get on Elias Ilkor. And so having multiple things like this on the battlefield is pretty sweet. Make a bunch of tokens, opponent tries to kill them, they lose a bunch of life. Cool part is for 8 mana, you can return all the creatures from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty sweet. I like that. It's 8 mana, but I mean, there's so much good ramp in standard right now, I don't think that's that crazy. So that card will definitely see some amount of play. I'm going to build a deck around it. We have Ghostly Keybearer for 4 mana. We get a 3/3 flyer, and when it deals combat, unlock a locked... Whoa. I know it's just an uncommon, and it's very overcosted. It's not very overcosted. It is overcosted, but not very overcosted. But if it deals combat damage and you're like, oh, I'll just open the 8 mana side of Awakening Hall. That seems a little busted. I don't think this will see play in standard, but in limited, this is going to be crazy. And there may be some room for this in standard if there's like just a rooms deck where you play this guy just for the fact that you can open doors for free if it lives, you know, maybe you just play it and protect it with like hexproof stuff. We'll have to see. Leyline of Transformation. I'm so excited about this card. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry. I got excited and I mashed my keyboard. Sorry. All right. I'm really excited about this card. 4 mana, enchantment. If it starts in your opening hand, you get it for free on the battlefield when the game starts. As it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control are the chosen type in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards that you own that aren't on the battlefield. I love this. It's yes, if you have to pay the 4 mana, it's not a crazy good card, right? But think about like just Lord Tribal. Like you just start with this on the battlefield and then you just play lords from like everything that you can think of, from, you know, any blue combination color that you can, right? Or you play something like you look at something like Corpses of the Lost. Corpses of the Lost is such a good card, but there's not a lot of support for skeletons in standard right now. All of a sudden everything's a skeleton. Oh, Shieldred, skeleton. Oh, Alcazat's, skeleton. Vein Ripper, skeleton. Like, you know, all of a sudden, like, you can use a card like this where you obviously you want to build it in a way where you can cast this, right? Same thing with Kaito. Like, yeah, you get the Kaito. It's a plus too. Plus, you plus the card, right? And so you're adding loyalty to Kaito, and you're giving all the ninjas +1/+1. So you play a bunch of cheap creatures and Kaito, and you start with this on the battlefield. Like, yeah, you're down a card, but you just play your deck in a way that where you can recuperate that card loss. It's not going to go win a Pro Tour, but this is going to be a super fun card. All right, we got Fear of Imposters. I like this card a lot. 3 mana flash, counter target spell as controller manifest dread. Like, it's not bad. Like, yeah, they get a 2/2 out of it, but I mean, you get to counter something, like anything. It's just counter target spell. So this guy might actually see play in like a flash deck, maybe. We'll have to see. This guy's so cute. This is the pet from the bundle, actually, and I think he's adorable. And I really like this guy. A 1 mana 3/3, but it can't attack or block unless there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. It gives me real Death Cap vibes from that fungus, but this is very nice, and it's not that hard to mill cards. And there could be like an interesting artifacty aggro strategy with this too, because this guy's an artifact too, the Swarm Weaver. 4 mana for a 2/3, and you get 2 1/1 black and green insect creature tokens with flying. So you get 4 power, 5 toughness, spread across 3 bodies. Delirium, as long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard. Insects and spiders you control get +1/+1 to have death touch. That's pretty sweet. I think maybe if you put Leyline in your deck and then make everything into an insect or spider, I mean, hey, why not, right? Because it also makes him an insect or spider when he's not normally an insect or spider. So it doesn't say other insects or spiders, so then he buffs himself. Now, this is the card everyone is talking about. Leyline of Resonance. If this is in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. So the idea is that you start with this on the battlefield, you put a Heartfire hero, or I think it also works with, yeah, boo. I think it also works with the gremlin, the goblin. And then you pump it up with a +3 power, so something like Monstrous Rage, or, well, Monstrous Rage isn't exactly enough, I don't think, but I think it works still. Monstrous Rage, there's another new one that gives +3/+0, and then when it dies, you get an effect from this set. And then you fling it with the Conscript, and it's just, boom, they're dead on turn 2. And, I mean, it's 4 cards. You need 4 cards. You need Heartfire hero, you need an instant or sorcery that buffs it by +3, and you need the Leyline, and you need a fling effect. So there, I don't know if they print another fling effect in this set. There could still be one, but the one we have now is Callous Sellsword. So 4 card combo, kill him on turn 2. Pretty crazy. So make sure you're running those cutdowns. Land cycle. I wasn't expecting to get a new rare land cycle. When they did the debut stream and they didn't reveal any rare lands, I was like, oh man, no new rare land cycle. This is a really good land cycle. I like this. They never come in tapped. They are always untapped. And then you just build your deck in a way where it's pretty common that you have a forest or a plains to go with this. You've got, the Surveil lands that count as both. You have, Fabled Passage to make sure you're getting basics. So you run these alongside the other dual lands. And, I mean, yeah, sometimes it's only going to produce green. But, I mean, there are times where it's like I'd rather have any untapped land. And here you go. So, I mean, it's a dual land as long as you have a basic land of one of the 2 types. Doesn't matter which one it is. And I think that's pretty cool. I actually really, really like this land cycle, and I think these are going to end up being quite expensive in paper, so I would pick these up pretty quickly, because these are going to be very, very good. These might actually even be good in other older formats. So definitely keep your eye out on these guys. We got green, white, red, green, black, red, blue, black, and white, blue for those. Another spell I like a lot. This reminds I always think of Drag the Canal when I read this, but if you have Delirium, 2 mana, destroy target non-land permanent. It's Assassin's Trophy, but better, as long as you have Delirium. There are some cards in this set where it's like if you have Delirium, they're just busted for standard. So yeah, there's definitely some ways to exile cards out of the graveyard and turn this off, so it's not perfect, but it's a very strong card, and 4 mana to destroy a non-land permanent. It's not crazy bad. That's not even that bad of a rate to destroy any non-land permanent. You look at trying to think of the last destroy non-land permanent we had with no drawback. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say it was also 4 mana. But I like this card. I like it a lot. The fact that it can be 2 mana is crazy. Grievous Wound, another interestingly crazy card. This can get out of hand really quickly. It's expensive, so I don't see it being a problem. Yeah, Vindicate is one, but that's pretty old. I think there's been one since then. I think there's been a 4 mana exile a non-land permanent with no back. Utter End is the last one I can remember. But it was an exile effect, so I would say that might be a little better than just destroying, because it gets around indestructible. But this can cost 2 mana and Utter End can't. So But this enchanted player cannot gain life, so they can't fix their life total once you start tearing it apart, and whenever they are dealt damage, they lose half their life total rounded up. So if you get them down to 1, they eventually can die from this. Inquisitive Glimmer. This is basically a blue-white version of what we had in Neon Dynasty with Jukai Naturalist. It's a blue and a white for a 2/3. Enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, but it also reduces unlock costs that you pay. So pretty sweet there, since rooms are technically enchantments. And it's got a little bit better of a stat line, and that's really important considering the next card we're about to go over, which is Pyroclasm. Pyroclasm's back in standard, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the only reasons I think that Boros Convoke is not going to be so popular, because Pyroclasm's really good. I mean, 2 mana to deal 2 to each creature, just that's it. That's the news. Like, rabbits are out of here. This is bad for rats, it's bad for bats, it's bad for, like, this I don't know what's going to happen in the standard. If I'm being 100% honest, this set is going to completely flip everything we know right now on its head, because it's adding a lot of power for aggro decks, but it's also adding a ton of ways to completely demolish aggro decks. So I'm not sure. This card being back in standard, especially because it's 1 in a red, so it's very splashable. Super excited. Like, I'm this is probably the most hyped uncommon to me, at least. Being able to just deal with all those little, I mean, in this picture they're killing a bunch of those little crabs, which doesn't make sense because the crab has 3 health. All right, so we've got Vagavoth's Faithful, a 1 mana 1/1 human cleric, pay 4, sacrifice it, return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as, this is sweet. It's basically like, it reminds me of the 2 mana creature that you could pay 3 life and sacrifice it to get something back from your graveyard. It's just a nice little, like, if you're playing a reanimation strategy, 4 mana to return something. It's technically 5 mana if you include the 1 mana you invest with this, but it's neat, and you can get it back from the graveyard pretty easily with, there's a whole bunch of little, like, effects. Like, imagine like you're milling a bunch of stuff in like an Orzhov or like an Abzan reanimator deck, and then you do drop cure three of these and then just start like getting stuff back. Like, that could be pretty sweet. I don't know if it's gonna see play, but I like the card. I like the spirit. Shard Mage's Rescue. Flash enchant creature you control as long as it entered this turn. Enchanted creature has hexproof, so it's not permanent hexproof, but it's hexproof for the turn, and then the enchanted creature gets +1/+1. This is pretty cool, especially since we are getting if you look down a little further, we're getting ethereal armor back in standard, which is gonna definitely increase the likelihood that we're gonna see some Voltron decks in standard. Thankfully, that double striking connive guy is gone from New Capenna. All right, we've got Overlord of the Flood Pits. 5 mana for a 5/3 flyer, and when it enters or attacks, draw 2 cards and discard a card. 5 mana for a 5/3 flyer, draw a card, or draw 2, discard 1. So you're getting to kind of loot. Is not bad. You can pay the 3 mana impending 4 cost, and then it sticks around for 4 turns and becomes a creature, but you still, for 3 mana, get to draw 2, discard 1. That's not terrible, and then there's still something on the battlefield your opponent has to deal with. One thing I really like about these impending cards is once that last counter comes off, they don't have summoning sickness. They've already been on the battlefield for 4 turns, so they can attack right away. So you can immediately get some value out of that attack trigger as long as it lives. We have Central Elevator and Promising Stairs. So whenever you unlock the store, search your library for a room card that doesn't have the same name as a room card you control. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. And for 3 mana at the beginning of your upkeep, if you surveil 1, you win the game if there are 8 or more different names among unlocked doors of rooms you control. Definitely an interesting win con. Technically, you only need 4 cards to win the game, 4 different enchantment rooms that you can unlock all the room types on. So this is not insane. You could win the game with this. I'm definitely going to build a deck trying to win the game with this because it's fun. I mean, I love any card that says win the game. Yes, Render Inert will definitely see some play, especially because there's other fun things you can do with Render Inert, not just removing impending counters. So it's, I can kill your Planeswalker with Render Inert, or I can, you know, remove the counters from a battle, which is what it's typically used for right now. Can we talk about the Ghostbusters card? This is a Ghostbusters vacuum. It's a Ghost Vacuum. And I love this card. I think it's really cool. 1 mana, exile target card from a graveyard. So we effectively are getting, oh man, what is that card that's in every commander deck? Relic of Progenitus, I think it is, sort of, where you can just exile a card from a graveyard. Unlicensed Hearse does it for 2 mana, but you get to exile 2 cards. Hearse is probably a better card. If we're being real, Unlicensed Hearse is probably a better card than this, but I like this card because if you get to exile a bunch of stuff with ETBs, you can pay 6 mana, sacrifice Ghost Vacuum, and put each creature card exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control with a flying counter, and their 1/1 spirits in addition to their other types activate only as a sorcery. It does turn off Delirium, and that's probably why it was printed. It's also probably why it's a rare, because if this was an uncommon, limited would suck. Because all the Delirium decks in limited would just, this would be all over the place. Everybody would play this in their limited deck and nobody would get to play Delirium. So that's why it is a rare, I think. I don't think the effect warrants a rare, to be honest, but it's probably a rare for draft purposes. So definitely a cool card though, especially if you can exile some really sweet ETBs or like some stuff like Vein Ripper and stuff. Very cool. Nico, Light of Hope, 2 a white and a blue for a 3/4. When it enters, create 2 shard tokens, which are enchantments that say sacrifice it for 2 mana, scry 1, then draw cards. So they're better clues, but they're enchantments instead of artifacts. Then you can pay 2 and tap him to exile a non-legendary creature you control, and shards you control become copies of it until the beginning of the next end step, and then you return the creature until the beginning of the next end step. So this is kind of interesting because you can do some crazy stuff with this, especially if you can double up on like these shard tokens with like a token doubler or something like that, or Caretaker's Talent. You can make some copies of the shard tokens, and then you exile something, you know, that would be relatively simple by itself, but all of a sudden now you have 3 copies of them and you get to keep the one in the exile. So like, oh, I'll just, you know, I'll play a Vein Ripper and then I'll exile it and turn my 3 shards into Vein Rippers. Good luck dealing with that. Or just any like sweet like creatures with like good attack triggers, things like that. Yes, well, I think in the story they lost their sparks, if I remember correctly. I don't think Nico is a Planeswalker anymore. I think they had to come with Kaito, like Kaito brought them. Because a lot of the Planeswalkers at the end of the Phyrexian arc lost their sparks. And so that's why you have like Nissa as a creature, things like that. A lot of the Planeswalkers lost their sparks, so I agree. Azorius Enchantments is definitely going to be big. I like this guy. This guy's crazy. Hold on. Let me get this right. Victor, Valgavoth Seneschal. 1 a black and a white for a 3/3 human warlock with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room, surveil 2. If this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn. If it's the second time, each opponent discards a card. If it's the third time, put a creature card from a graveyard, not yours, onto the battlefield under your control. I don't think it's going to be that hard to trigger this 3 times in a turn. I really don't. I think this card could be triggered 3 times in a turn pretty easily and not even that late in the game. So Nico Aris, like, if you play this and then play Nico Aris, you're immediately triggering it twice. And then if you have some other way, like treasures or something like that, to cast like a 1 mana enchantment or something, boom. You just go this guy, you know, Nico, Light of Hope, get 2 enchantments from the thing, or if maybe you got an extra mana laying around and you already have a Caretaker's Talent on the battlefield. Like, there's so many ways you could easily just trigger this in one turn. So I think this is really neat. This is a limited bomb, but I like it anyway. At Altanak the Thrice Called. So it's like kind of like a Candyman kind of thing, or like, you know, like your typical horror trope of say the name 3 times and it shows up. Trample, and whenever it becomes the spell of a target ability, whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, draw a card, and then you can discard it to return a land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So if it's in your hand and you just, you know, don't need it right now, you can cycle it to get a land out of your graveyard to ramp up a little bit. And it's a 7 mana 9/9. So in limited, it's going to be pretty sweet. And then this is the card that goes with it. Say its name. Oh yeah, no, it's going to be hilarious to lose to it in limited, especially with this card because it's a common. So it's not going to be hard to draft 3 or 4 of these. 2 mana, mill 3 cards, then you may return a creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. Exile this card and 2 other cards named Say Its Name from your graveyard, and search your graveyard, hand, and or library for a card named Atlantic Thrice Called and put it onto the battlefield. Sweet. This has got to be one of the coolest like limited, like living the dream combos we've had in a while. So we've got Ethereal Armor. If you have been playing Magic for a long time, you know what this card is and you hate it. It's a 1 mana enchantment that says enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and has first strike. If you can keep a hexproof or an indestructible creature alive with this, it's a nightmare. And there's going to be some kind of Ultra on deck with this, I know it. So watch out for that. Meat Hook Massacre Part 2. I don't know how I feel about this card. I love that it's literally just double everything. It's just double them. It's just 2 extra black. When it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices X creatures. All right, so at the very bottom, you can pay 4 mana for this and just get the bottom 2 effects, which is whenever a creature you control dies, you can pay 3 life and return it to the battlefield under your control, the finality counter on it. And whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, they can pay 3 life. If they don't, you get that creature under your control, the finality counter on it also. It's interesting because you have to pay 6 mana to make them sacrifice 1 thing. But you also have to sacrifice something. Now, granted, if you build your deck in a way where you want to sacrifice the thing on your side of the battlefield, that's pretty nice. This will probably go in a very black heavy deck, so I could see this with like Vein Ripper, you know, like you sacrifice something with a Vein Ripper on the battlefield, you make the opponent get drained for some, then they have to pay even more life if they don't want you to get their creature for free, and you just gain 2 life, so now you pay the 3 life. It doesn't even hurt you that bad to get your thing back. Maybe it has an ETB or a dies effect. It's definitely not as good as the first one, but we all know they couldn't make it as good as the first one. The first one got banned and was just ridiculous. So will this see play? I'm going to build something around it. It's definitely not going to win any tournaments, though. I cannot see this card being good enough to see tournament play, but it's definitely a fun build-around card that will be fun to make our opponents squirm with, and you will definitely be seeing something from me built around this card. Leyline of the Void is, I think, the only Leyline so far that we have that is a reprint. I think the only one we haven't seen yet is the green Leyline, so unless it's somewhere here and I haven't seen it yet. If a card would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. This is really cool because it doesn't affect you. It only affects your opponent. So you get to have a graveyard, you get to have fun graveyard shenanigans, but your opponent does not. And that can be really sweet. It's a great sideboard card. I mean, this card sees sideboard play in eternal form, like modern and stuff like that. So it's really good. Especially because, unlike Rest in Peace, it only affects your opponent. Tyvar the Pummeler. Man, I'm excited. I hope there's more elves in this set. I really want my my Voja deck to be good. And I like this Tyvar. He's a 3/3. Tap another untapped creature you control. Tyvar gains indestructible until end of turn. That's pretty sweet. That makes him very resilient to removal. And then 5 mana, creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. So even if he's the highest thing you've got, everything gets +3/+3. Now, he's not as good as his old counterparts that give trample with that ability, but still very strong ability. And I really like him, so I think he will see some amount of play. It depends on if there's like some good elf synergy. We still have the good elf lord from Dominaria, so elves could become a thing. I don't know. Slavering Branch Snapper. We got some common creatures with basic land cycling, with forest cycling, basically kind of like the dinosaurs from Ixalan. 6 mana, 7/6 trample with forest cycling, and then we've got like the 4/5 flyer with plane cycling. We have Acrobatic Cheerleader, a 2 mana 2/2 with survival. Put a flying counter on it. It's all right. Stay hidden, stay silent. 1 in a blue enchantment aura. When it enters, tap that creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, and you can pay 6 mana to shuffle it into their library, but then they manifest dread. So I wouldn't say that's super great, but it's all right. Piranha Fly. 2 mana 2/1 flying, and it enters tapped. That's a weird card. That's a creepy artwork. Grasping Longneck. It's a horror. 3 mana 4/2 reach. When it dies, you gain 2 life. It's okay. It could be a nice little like tech against like mono red with their stupid birds. Turn Inside Out. This is the spell I was talking about that helps enable that turn 2 combo. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn, and when it dies this turn, manifest dread. Very strong card. Definitely going to see play in mono red. Clockwork Percussionist. 1 mana, 1/1 haste. When it dies, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until the end of your next turn. It's a pretty strong little 1/1 with haste. It's not crazy, but being able to get a free card to play until your next turn is pretty sweet. It makes sure that if you can't cast it during your turn, you still have a full turn to untap and cast whatever it is. So, pretty sweet. People are really excited about this for Pauper. Fanatic of Harrowing. 3 and a black. When it enters, each player discards a card. If you discarded a card this way, draw a card. Pretty simple. Just a, discard thing. Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. So this is our red avatar. 4 and 2 red for a 5/5. When it enters or attacks, deals 4 damage to any target. So it's sort of like a slightly worse Inferno Titan. Inferno Titan was 6 mana for a 6/6 with fire breathing, and it dealt 3 damage, but split up as you chose among any targets. So 4 damage is more damage, but you can't split it up. But being able to pay 4 mana and smack something for 4, and then later on you get a 5/5 that can attack and smack something else for 4 is pretty sweet. So sorry. Okay. These are not standard legal cards. These are special guests. So these will be legal in older formats, but these are very cool to have on Arena for the first time. We got Noxious Revival, which is 1 mana to put a card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library as an instant speed, so it's pretty sweet. Unholy Heat. 1 mana to deal 2 damage to a creature or planeswalker, and if you have Delirium, it deals 6 damage instead, which is crazy. This is already on Arena, though, I think. This I don't believe is on Arena. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature, add an amount of black equal to its mana value. That's pretty cool. Phantasmal Image. Don't think we have this on Arena yet, and I love this card. It's a 2 mana 0/0 illusion, and you can have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's an illusion in addition to its other types. And whenever that creature becomes target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. We also have Expropriate. For 7 and 2 blue, Council's Dilemma, starting with you. Each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile, expropriate. That's a pretty sweet sorcery to like cast for free with like Mizzix Mastery or something. So very cool there. Soul Warden, very nice addition for... Well, we already have Soul Warden on Arena, but cool artwork. Hallowed Haunting, another one we already have on Arena, but very cool new artwork, and excited to see such neat, like, staticky ghosts. Yeah, classic. I actually got a little scared. I panicked for a minute because I thought this was in Standard again. I was like, no, please. Maddening Hex, 1 a red and a red enchant player, and whenever enchanted player casts a non-creature spell, roll a d6. Maddening Hex deals damage to that player equal to the result, then attach Maddening Hex to another one of your opponents chosen at random. So in this context, it would just keep attaching to that opponent. And so we've just got these last few cards here to go through. We got Infernal Phantom, 4 mana, 3 and a red with Eerie. Whenever an enchantment enters or you unlock a room, it gets +2/+0. Whenever it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Pretty sweet uncommon. Don't think it's going to make any waves anywhere, but very cool. Undead Sprinter, I like this card a lot. 2 mana for a 2/2 with Trample Haste, and you may cast it from your graveyard if a non-zombie creature died this turn, and if you do, it comes with a +1/+1 counter on it, and it does not have a finality counter or anything like that. It doesn't get exiled when it dies. So repeatable 2/2 Trample Haste, or 3/3 Trample Haste if it's in the graveyard, every time a non-zombie creature, and it doesn't say a creature you controlled, so if you're just like, oh yeah, I'll kill your creature and I'll get this 3/3 back with haste, pretty sweet. So I think this is pretty cool. I think we're definitely going to see this in some Rakdos decks. Mirror Room and Fractured Realm. I really like this one. For 3 mana, when you unlock this door, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it's a reflection in addition to its other types. 3 mana for a copy creature effect is pretty sweet. I like it a lot, especially with all the token strategies that exist on standard right now. I think this is a very strong card. And then for 7 mana, if a triggered ability of a permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So that's for anything, any ETB, any triggered ability, anything that gets triggered, it doubles it up for 7 mana. So pretty sweet. Smoky Lounge, Misty Salon. For 2 and a red at the beginning of your first main phase, add red. Spend this mana only to cast room spells and unlock doors. So this is a card that's going to help enable the win the game if you control 8 rooms with different 8 unlocked rooms with different names, because it's basically ramping you to cast and unlock rooms, which is pretty nice. So I definitely think that this is a cool card for that strategy. And then Misty Salon for 3 and a blue. Whenever you unlock this door, create an XX blue spirit illusion with flying, where X is the number of unlocked doors among rooms you control. So this is another payoff for having a lot of rooms. So who knows? Maybe the room deck will actually be a thing. You never know. We got Patched Plaything, 3 mana for a 4/3 with Double Strike. That sounds crazy, but it enters with 2 -1/-1 counters on it if you cast it from your hand. So we get it back with Helping Hand from the graveyard, or we blink it, and then it's all of a sudden a 4/3 with Double Strike. Seems pretty good to me. Unwilling Vessel, 3 mana for a 3/2 with Vigilance. Whenever an enchantment you control enters, and whenever you unlock a room, put a possession counter on it. When it dies, create an XX blue spirit with flying, where X is the number of counters on it. This is pretty sweet, especially since we still have a whole bunch of proliferate things in standard and blue. So I like this card a lot. I think it's pretty sweet. Nothing crazy, but I think it could potentially see some play. We'll have to see. Fear of Failed Tests. This is some pretty interesting artwork. We got 4 mana, 4 and a blue for a 2/7, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. This will be pretty cool in like the Toughness Matters turtle deck. You know, it's a 5 mana 7/7, and whenever it deals damage, you draw 7 cards. It's pretty sweet, right? Fear of Isolation. We have a 2 mana 2/3 flyer as additional cost to cast a spell, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand, and it has flying. Nothing too crazy there, but if you play like the 1 mana 1/1 with flying that makes a map token, you can play this on turn 2. You got a turn 2/3 flyer by bouncing the map token. So who knows, if we ever get like a favorable winds card back in standard, or like a flying creatures get some benefit, this could see some play maybe. Glimmer Seeker, 3 mana for a 3/3 with survival. If you draw a card if you control a Glimmer creature. If you don't control a Glimmer creature, create a 1/1 Glimmer enchantment creature token. So it'll make a Glimmer if you don't control one. If you do control one, you get to draw a card. It's not terrible for 3 mana, but I don't think it'll see any crazy play. And then we have this common land cycle, 1 for each color pairing, where if you have 13 or less life, it enters untapped. So definitely an interesting land cycle. I think it will have more of an impact in older formats where you can go fetch land, shock land, Thoughtseize you, and be at 15 pretty quickly, and then just play another shock land, and then these all come in on tap. But I don't see any reason why you would play this maybe over a basic in that kind of deck. I don't know. But hey, more dual lands that could potentially come in untapped at a later time. Mono red still popular. Like, hey, they're giving you free untapped lands, right? Look at the positive side of things. So I'm just gonna refresh this really quickly, because who knows, they could have revealed a card since we looked. They did. Look at that. All right, it's only one, but they did reveal another card since we started. So Fear of Infinity, very cool artwork. Snake eating its own tail, but it's like an undead snake, right? 3 mana 2/2 flying and lifelink. It cannot block. Whenever it has Eerie, and so whenever you trigger Eerie, you may return it from the graveyard to your hand. That's pretty cool. Not crazy, but very neat. So yeah, that's all the cards that have been revealed. So basically, in lieu of doing like separate videos for this, I'm just going to go over these at the beginning of my streams for the next, basically today and next week will be it, and then the set will be out the following week. So yeah, the cards are looking really sweet. I'm really excited to see what else is in the set. We still have a green ley line to find. I think we also still have the green Titan to see, and so it's looking really awesome. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this set so far, from what's been spoiled? If you are, make sure you let me know. Like, leave a if you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment to let me know what cards you're excited about the most. If you got any deck ideas or brews you're coming up with, I'd love to see them. I'm always looking at cool, fun things. So let us go ahead and hop onto Arena over here and start Foundations. Yeah, I'm excited about Foundation. I'm sadly so far most excited about Llanowar Elves. But this set looks really cool. I'm excited about it. So the first deck I want to play for you guys, and I can't promise we're going to win a lot of games with it, but it's definitely going to be fun when we do, is called Your Win Con Is Mine. I basically built this deck with next to no win conditions. We're just going to steal our opponent's win conditions and make them sad and destroy everything and counter all their stuff and mill them out and steal their stuff. And it's going to be great. So we got a bunch of like counters, 3 steps ahead, Assassin's Trophies, Blue Sun's Twilights, and Outrageous Robberies, Doppelgangs, bunch of ramping with like Realm Breaker, Spelunking, and Heaped Harvest, board 4 Deadly Cover-Ups, and Malicious Eclipse, push pulls to steal stuff out of their graveyard. This deck is ridiculous, and I don't play very much control, but I've been craving to play some control lately. So we are going to play some Control today. I'll show you this deck in a little bit. Literally, it's basically Wilds of Eldraine block. But it's cool. And it weirdly works in the current meta. Alright. C3 Steak Sauce we're playing. We get to go first. We don't have any green mana. Am I willing to risk that we draw green mana? We get a Surveil with Undercity Sewers. But I'll probably regret it if I do. This is better. I think we put back the Doppelgang for now. Get down the Undercity Sewer. Doppelgang back on top. I think we mill it. See, look at this cute little guy. He pulls balloons out of his mouth. It's adorable. He's like, hey, here you go. And then he lets it go like some kind of heathen. Island. So, blue-white control? Oh goodness, if this is a control mirror, I'm gonna feel so bad. The deuce. I'm gonna counter it. Patchwork banner. What is it, for their Mirex tokens? Yeah, no, it's for their White Sun tokens. How ridiculous. They probably don't run any creatures. Oh no. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry, guys. You shouldn't have to watch this. Oh, I might concede if things start to get too long-winded. I'll keep the spelunking. We do technically have win cons in our land base. I should have played the land first. What am I thinking? We're gonna get no more lies. Golly. I was wanting to put the land with the spelunking in case we drew a second land, but that doesn't even make sense. I do like my beholder sleeves. Thank you. They are sweet. 3 steps ahead's not bad. Can counter something they do and then draw a couple cards. Come on, opponent. We're playing control mirror. You gotta think quickly. Nope. We'll discard the push-pull. Realm Breaker is really good against them if we can resolve it. There's a Restless Vinestock. Hey, what's up, Daniel? Welcome. Make sure if you're just joining, you hit that like button so that more people can see that we're playing some fun, crazy stuff. Get that chat going. Oh, come on, rude. We can replay it, though. At least it's soul partition and not something that aha! Get out of here with that White Sun Zenith. We milled their White Sun Zenith. Oh, they got a Mirex now. Let's play our Realm Breaker again. It resolves. I'm kind of hoping they tap their Mirex to like do something this turn so I can Assassin's Trophy it. They're gonna make them. So frustrating. While they're tapped out, I'm gonna mill. Demolition Field, okay. I think I'm still gonna blow this up now. It is a new deck. Oh, they had a counter. Okay, we'll just demolition field it next turn then. We have a deadly cover up to get rid of their mirror tokens. Get out of here. Yep. All right, here we go. So we're gonna take their win condition. Hopefully. All right. We've got 3 mana to pay. We'll pay, push, pull. Do they have a counter? They don't. Nice, and we get to steal their White Sun's Twilight. Look at their hand. Seasons Weaving, Soul Partition, Sunfall. What do they got? They do have Ezram. They have 1 Ezram in the deck. Alright, so they got White Sun's Twilight as a win con, Ezram, and Mirexes and Restless Anchorages. Alright. Let's go ahead and mill them. They're probably going to soul partition this again, which is fine. We'll just recast it again. Alright, so let's steal their Mirex. Cool, I'll just play the cheap one. Let's mill him some more. Let's get another Mirex. Pass the turn. Gosh, alright. Fine, soul partition my realm breaker again. Go for it. Well, this deck is basically, I'm just gonna... This deck hates on the Boros deck for sure. They're gonna draw 5 cards. Or not. They're gonna make 2 copies of Patchwork Banner? That feels like a... Why? I guess it gives them more mana. Pyroclasm is gonna help take care of Boros for sure. Alright, let's make a Mirex token. Cottage. Mill the opponent. Let's snatch that Restless Anchorage. We can't pay it. Darn. Alright. I guess let's... play Cruelty. See what's in their hand that we don't know about yet. Okay. I was hoping maybe they had that Ezram in their hand, but that's okay. I'm gonna go get a Doppelgang out of my... Or, no. Wait, they only have 22 left in there? So we're gonna go get... Actually, yeah, let's get... No. Let's get Robbery. I'll keep another Cruelty on top. And we'll mill them. No more lies off the top. Very nice. Meticulous Archive, Scry. Keep the Cruelty on top. Pass the turn, and then we'll Robbery them for like a whole bunch. Let's just do it now. Now that we know that they don't have a counter. So what do we have? Hold on. Black. Black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can count. Give me 10 cards. Now that I know for sure. That was fun. I was feeling bad at first for the control mirror, but that ended up being fun. All right. Basically anything that's not mono red, we can trounce with this deck. We've got a pretty okay chance against mono red too. RNZ. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it. You get to go first. 2 mana. And we're on the play, so we only get 2 draws to find a land. But we have 2 Heat Harvests, so it's so much ramp. Alright, chat, do we risk it? Do we risk it for the biscuit, or do we do the right thing and mulligan? I'm a mulligan. This is way better. What do we put back? The Restless Reef, I guess. We got double black, we got 1 green. Now let's keep the Reef and put the Fountain Port back. Sewers on top, nice. Fabled Passage from the opponent. Survey says it's red. It's Boros. Oh no. Well, we got something for them. Draw a card, put a Sewers into play. Keep the 3 steps ahead, sure. Let's see if they immediately slam a Forge. I've got Assassin's Trophy for that. Caretaker's Talent, alright. I almost wonder if we just start smacking them in the face with Restless Reef. Probably not. Oh, okay. So we counter the Forge. And then we're gonna blow up the talent, right? Yeah, the tournaments are definitely, because you're gonna play a lot more meta decks there, so. Alright, let's see if they've got removal for this. Well, they're letting us mill them. There goes another Forge. Smack. There's an Archangel.
This fight ends. This is our fight to win.
It is kind of annoying. Doppelgang doesn't really do anything for us right this second, does it? Could make our own Archangel. Alright, I think we're gonna actually activate Cottage here. Just go after the... It's not gonna get us anywhere, but we can start exiling things like the Forge so he can't get it back with the Elspeth's ultimate. And if he can't keep a token on the battlefield, he can't copy his tokens. Eventually we're gonna draw land. And the ultimate here is not gonna matter if we exile all the cool stuff. Alright, so we've got 7 mana now. Keep going with the Cottage. Get these Forges out of his graveyard. That leaves him with just a Caretaker's talent and a lockdown. So, I mean, if he wants to sacrifice the Elspeth to get the talent back, go for it. Makes a fish. Which is annoying, but... Oh, he has a Helix for our cottage. That sucks. We need to draw some action. Give me an outrageous robbery so I can steal some of his deck and beat him with his own deck. Really? All to get a Caretaker's talent back. Not thinking about the fact that it's going to exile his fish. Now he has to make another token. Should have played that first. Making mistakes all over the place. I really don't have anything I can do this turn. It's kind of frustrating. I guess let's make a talent of our own. It counts as a token, so it draws us a card. Hey, Heaped Harvest. Now we can start ramping. Ooh, wait. Can I start going crazy if I get a white land out of his graveyard at some point? Opponent has a Forge now, which is a huge pain in the butt. I need my Realm Breaker so I can get some white mana out of his graveyard. I don't think we're going to win this game, though, if I'm being honest. These deadly cover-ups are just super dead against them. If I had a way to make white mana right now... That's the turn. Because I can start making copies of the talent. But he's just drawing so many cards right now and I'm not really doing anything. You know what? I'll give it one more draw. If I don't draw like another Doppelgang. Like if I draw Doppelgang, I can maybe do something, but we're probably just gonna die here. Yep. And then they get a 5/3 with... Not dead, but pretty close. Board wipe doesn't matter because they have a Forge still, and they can level up the other talent. And they can just make a Murex or a Fountain Port. Yeah, alright. GG. It might. There may be... I mean, there may be just like a destroy all artifacts and enchantments thing. We will have to see. All right. Find somebody else to play. Christopher 10. This feels bad. That's a lot of 5-drops. Maybe the opponent's on the play. If I had some ramp in here somewhere, I would consider it. I almost clicked keep by accident. This is better. Oh gosh. My favorite. Maybe he won't pump it up this turn. We didn't pump it up this turn. I hate giving them a land, but opponent broke. They're broken. They don't know what to do. Hello. What are they doing? Are they purposely roping so that we'll quit? I got news for you, pal. I don't quit just because you rope. I'll wait. Do 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 do. I'm sorry about this, guys. I don't know what he's doing. Did it really take that long to decide whether you're going to play that? It's like, man, I don't know if I want to play this cacophony scamp. I just don't know. Yeah, I ain't quitting just to save a minute or two. Like, oh wait, look at them. They're there. They just played a card, so they're purposely doing this. I bet what it is they have a handful of land and creatures and no pump spells, so they're just hoping, because their board looks so scary, that we're just gonna be like, ah, oh, whatever, I quit. I'm just gonna lose anyway. Little do they know I have an assassin's trophy to kill one of their things and then a deadly cover-up to follow it up. And nope. There was no stick there, so they have no more pump spells. Well, not that cost 1 mana. They might have another Blazing Crescendo. Another Swift Spear. Alright, well, if we live, maybe we can still win. Land. No pump spells. I'm gonna get rid of Heartfire Hero. That was their last card. So they're gonna get the draw. Oh, they scooped. There you go, guys. Beating up a mono red deck. Ichan or Icon. Opponent goes first. This is an okay hand though. Keep. Yep. Heaped Harvest is really good. I love Heaped Harvest. Sleight of Hand. All right. Some kind of blue nonsense. It's looking like mono blue Jin, maybe. I should have played the Dark Slick Shores there. Well, I'm gonna try to resolve Spelunking, but I doubt it's gonna resolve. Ah, okay. It resolved. Let's get a mortuary down, see what's on top. Don't need more Spelunking. One is good. They don't cast anything. I was expecting at least a draw spell there. Another Sleight of Hand. If this is Jin, it's a slow start. Alright, well, we got Deadly Cover Up. If they play anything crazy, we got Assassin's Trophy, we got Robbery, like... It's just a game of staring at each other for a few minutes. This is definitely a fun control deck, though. That opponent's not doing anything. Alright. Just waiting for them to cast something so we can Outrageous Robbery. There's not an Urza that's mono blue, no. There's a Teferi that's blue. Eddie Merc Crab. I'm gonna snatch 4 things from them while they're tapped out. Ooh, okay. I have an Illuge deck, but it's not a Jin deck. I've actually been doing quite well with it. But my next video might be about that one, so you'll have to keep your eyes peeled for that one. What do? I think I'm gonna push it. Let's try again. I really don't want to sit here and get smacked for 5 every turn by this. This is a fun game. A real Wizard's War over here. Stops us from doing anything else fun for the turn, but... And they may be able to just play another Eddie Merc Crab from their hand, but... They have another one that's gonna be annoying, but... Nope, okay. We won the war. Flow of Knowledge. Sure, you draw all the cards. It can't be that hard to pick 2 cards to discard. I am on EST, yes. I'm on the east coast of the United States. Yes, sir. Valerian Terror. Let's go get a land. Sacrifice it. I'm gonna do so much ramping right now. Let me go get an island actually, so this flow of knowledge can actually draw some cards. Go get another land. Come on, let us do our thing. This is so fun! Rampity ramp ramp! Spelunking is so much fun. If I ever draw a doppelgang. Haughty Jin, sure. It's scary. It's an 8/4. Yep. Ow! 5 damage, no! Alright, let's try to bounce it. Flow of Knowledge only draws us 3 cards right now, which is kind of unfortunate, but... They have a Phantom Interference. I'm gonna draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards then. There's a Doppelgang. They didn't counter it. We're dead though. If they counter this deadly cover-up. They have to have a counter. There's no way they don't. Oh, wait, hold on. If they're digging, they might not have it. They kept a card though. Oh. They're digging 2 more deep. Come on. Come on, let it resolve. They milled 2. They didn't find it. Yeah! Get out of here, Haughty Jin. Let's just snatch that right out of the yard. Out of the hand, out of the library. Beautiful. Alright, they've got more Flow of Knowledges. And then we'll go ahead and play a Terror of our own. Which I guess they can into the Flood Maw. Let's see, we have a Doppelgang now. They can't tap this because it's got Ward 2. So they can into the Flood Maw their own Terror and replay it. Which is kind of annoying. But then we can Doppelgang into Oblivion. Yep. Alright. They've got 2 Flow of Knowledges and 1 unknown card. We have 5, 9, 12, so we can Doppelgang for 4. Let's see what we get. Do they have a counter? Is there 1 card a counter spell? Come on, don't be a counterspell. Oh no! How annoying. Draw, draw, draw onto the battlefield. Yeah, robbery, there we go. Okay. Now we're cooking with grease. Sure. I'm just gonna mill them out. Hold on. They have 13 cards left. How many lands do I have? I have 4, 8. So I can't mill them out yet. This is such a ridiculous game. Alright, so they have 12 cards. Oh, but maybe I should have done it while they had no... I mean, I literally have 5 cottages, so I could just activate 5 cottages and kill them if they... Let's make them use their mana now, though. They have the shore up, alright. Sleight of hand. Why are they digging? Like, they're not concerned about milling at all, apparently. Oh, I did this too late. Who knows? Maybe it'll get them to bounce it, though. Cool. Okay. One more mana they don't have. Play more stuff. Aww. They have 11 cards. We gotta do this strategically. Let me play Realm Breaker. Maybe they'll counter this. Because we can technically block their creatures. They might counter Realm Breaker. Maybe we'll get really lucky and they'll like go crazy with the 3 steps ahead and counter this and make a copy of like Terror or something. We just need to resolve this outrageous robbery. So if we can... Oh yes, they drew and discarded. Nice, alright. So hold on. So 7 says 13, 19... 15's enough. GG, opponent. Oh, look. We can counter their 3 steps ahead anyway. Oh, that was ridiculous. I'm sorry that was such a long game, but it was funny. All right. So you can see why I'm having fun with that deck, at least. Let's switch up the pace a little bit. Let us switch to... Bird Tribal. Calling this one Birds of a Feather. It's basically a Balmor aggro deck. It's Jeskai Birds. Cheju Cat. Opponent goes first. Just gonna get our birdie down quick. Insidious Roots, alright. We should be able to outrun this deck. Get down to Balmor. Yeah, sure, you can send it to me. Agatha Soul Cauldron, alright. Play Strike Force. And we should just be able to kill them pretty quickly if they don't have an answer to Balmor here. Aftermath Analyst. Sure. All our stuff has flying. No, don't make Roots tokens. Whatever will I do? How will I survive? Let's tap properly. Since our auto tapper hates us always, forever. Bounce. Easy. Birds. Who needs mice and monastery swift spears when you can just play birds? Ready up. Nice and quick. Cherubal. Alright, this is good. Get down the Harrier Strix. Hello. Give him the smooch. Swamp. Ew. Ew. Gross. I actually, you know what? After this game, I literally built that deck. I built it after Bloomburrow came out. Give me a minute, I'll show it to you. Ruthless Negotiation. Guess we'll get rid of Strike Force since we're not casting that right this minute. Skullcap Snail. Yeah, well. How do you like it? You exile a card from your hand. Now I have a fungus snail bird. Ha! They're like, wait a minute, I'm the discard deck. What did they get rid of? Ooh, Acklazot's nice. I have a feeling we're not winning this game, but I'm gonna stick it to him every way I can. Oh, Preacher can't block anything. Ooh, more Mockingbirds. Who's the discard deck now? A Shieldred. I love Mockingbirds so much. Sure. Only gets to draw a card. We are losing this race right now, but all it takes is a monstrous rage for us to turn that around. And they are drawing, like, hurting themselves to draw too, so. They have an Acklazotz, we're dead. They have a Shieldred, we're probably dead. You have to admit it was pretty funny though to start turning their discard stuff against them though. They have to be at least a little mad. Oh, Lightning Helix! Not enough to kill him, but real close. And now they have to deal with our whole board because they can't block anything we have. Are we actually gonna win this by because we made them discard eggs, Shieldred and Aclazotz, which would have been devastating against us. Yeah! Suck it, discard! That was awesome. That was great. Mockingbird, man. I love that card. It's my favorite. Gotta be one of my favorite cards from Bloomborough. Alright, Daniel. Just for you, since you are such a loyal patron and always hanging around, where is it? I didn't delete it, did I? I might have deleted it. Dang it. I think I did. That's unfortunate. Yeah, because there's my budget bats and my regular bat deck. You know what, though? Hold on a second. I'm sure it's still on my untapped GG profile. There it is. I had a 67% win rate with it too. So hold on, let me copy this and remake it real quick. So this was the deck that I had. No, I didn't put Gambit in it. It was basically bats, like the bat deck, with, you know, a little bit of cave synergy and like Gargantuan Leech and Spelunking and Bat Colony, and then like all the batty goodness. I'll play a game or two with this just to see. I think if you're gonna play caves though for the bats, I think this is the best. Because I tried a few versions. I tried 4-color with the Calamitous Cave-In and all that stuff, but this ended up being the one that did the best. Greywalker 88. I run into this guy a lot. We get to go first. Sunken Citadel. It's Mulligan. This is better. We will put back the forest, I suppose. Bat tokens and Valley Rockcaller. I do like Valley Rockcaller. I could put Valley Rockcaller in this list. The only problem is so many of the lands come in tapped until we get Spelunking. Our opponent is not doing things. Actually, maybe this hand wasn't so good. We can't cast anything. I was just like, I don't want to go to 5. Oh. Tiny Bones. Alright, there's a wipe. Should have played the Necropolis first. What am I doing? Play Channeler. Probably not going to live, and then they're going to get to cast it with their Tiny Bones. This is already not going well. But it's my fault. I kept a bad hand and played the lands wrong. Gambit is interesting. Let's get Convocation down. Hopefully they don't have another discard card. That would be unfortunate. Big worm. Leech. Oh. Alright.
Something suspicious.
Not gonna waste my time with this.
For once, it's not my fault.
All right, so let's take a look at it. Let's see if we could fit these cards in. So maybe we cut a case. Starscape Cleric. Cut the leeches and go less on that plan. Let's look for Gambit. Do I not have it? Oh my gosh, I don't. How many wild cards do I have? Oh, I don't know if I want to spend my wild cards on that. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think I want to spend my wild cards on that. Sorry, Daniel. But if you get a list together and you want to send it to me and I end up getting some more wild cards, maybe. I've only got 3 mythic wild cards left right now. So back to birds. Back to the birdies. Because this deck is fun. See, this is my way of getting to play aggro, but not feeling like an absolute degenerate about it. Because it's fast, but it's not as unfair as mono red. I like this hand. Gonna tap that Seachrome Coast even harder. Candy Trail. Uh-oh. Mono white control. They keep 2 on top. That's bad news. Bad news bears. And we're not drawing a whole lot of action here. I like this card a lot too, Jackdaw Savior. Opponent's gonna sack their Candy Trail. Caretaker's talent. All right. There's a Balmor. Let's hope that they don't Sunfall us too quickly. You also have to worry about temporary lockdown with Balmor. Archangel Elspeth. It's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Oh no! Oh, I played mana wrong. Oh well. Oh, I messed up. I should have played the Battlefield Forge. I thought I had another red, and I was trying to get the tap land out of the way. Big oopsie. Yeah, there goes our Balmor. Man. Frustration. Another talent. I mean, they're at 13. We're not that far off from just killing them. They can't temporary lockdown really anymore without losing all their tokens, so...
Have courage.
Go like that, and then we can draw and discard.
Lovely done.
With the Strix. They're gonna Sunfall us. Yeah, okay, we're done. Oh well. Aggro decks always suck against control decks. That's just the news. I don't have the Bruce Tarls either. But double striking Oxen does sound pretty ridiculous. We're waiting for somebody to play us. It's taking a little while. There we go. YZR. Opponent goes first. How many Balmors is too many Balmors? I'm gonna try it. More control. Oh, it's not pure control. Oh, it's Abuelo's combo. Okay. I do like High Noon and Aven Interrupter. That's pretty funny. They don't have enough mana. Why did they do that? They don't have the whole combo in the yard yet either, though. But they could have just, like, cast another Picklock Prankster instead. Weird. Mockingbird. Okay, well, this is fun. Watch this. Valley Quest Caller is our honorary bird. Get our scry on. We like Floodmaw. That protects us from the combo. Get in there for 6. Opponent's got some removal. Surveil 2. I hope they don't mill the combo piece in. Another Metamorph. They still need to rack those joins up. Why did they... They should have bounced a Quest Caller, honestly. I'm gonna make another Quest Caller because this adds the same amount of power to the board. Ooh, Monstrous Rage. Play our Balmor. 3 steps ahead, sure. They're gonna draw 2, discard 2. There's the Rakdos joins up. Alright, so all we have to do is into the Flood Maw. Bye-bye. Easy game. Balmor, Monstrous Rage, all the damage! Welcome if you're just joining. Good to have you with us. Got about another hour left of streaming. Make sure you hit that like button as you are coming in, or if you are hanging out and have not done so already. Gets it out to more people, the more the merrier. You know what? I am all for let's build a hate bear deck. That would be fun, right? All right, so we need High Noon. 4 seems a little excessive. Aven Interrupter. Abolisher. What's that one guy? There's a I do like Requisition Raid, maybe a couple copies of that in the deck. What other fun stuff could we use to make people's lives sad? I mean, we probably want some clay-fired bricks so we can get some, make sure we're hitting our lands. Dauntless Dismantler is actually kind of funny, but probably not what we're doing in this deck. We have Aven Interrupter, so Doorkeeper Thrall probably not that good. Get lost. Invasion of Gobakon. Play a couple of those, why not? That, yeah, Anointed Peacekeeper. That's the one I was thinking about, the 3-mana guy. Yeah, let's run some of him. Run a couple Claim Jumpers to make sure we can get more manas up. What other fun stuff could we try? Lauren of the Third Path, couple of those. No, I don't think I want to play Kutzil. Maybe no Claim Jumpers. Maybe instead of Claim Jumper... Let's see. No, because we can't play Lockdown. Because we're playing High Noon. Archangel of Tithes. Very fun. Beza. A couple of those. And then some Phyrexian Vindicators. I'm going to cut some stuff. I know we're already over 60. I'm going to cut a few things. Just adding stuff so I can see what I do want to cut. Maybe some Mom. Season of the Burrow. Eternal Wanderer could be fun. All right, so we'll take out a Peacekeeper. We'll take out an Archangel of Tithes. Go down to 3 Vindicators. Clarified Bricks. We got Requisition rates, so we can go down to 1 Lauren. Invasion of Gobakon, probably not necessary. And then we need like 1 more cut. What is it? Probably a Mom. And that way we have 25 lands. Yeah, but I want to run 25 lands. We need colorless stuff. So for lands, we want to run Fabled Passages. For thinning the deck, we want to run a single copy of Mirex. No, actually. Where is it? It's 2 Fountain Port. No, 1 Fountain Port. And a Demolition Field. And then 1 more Plains. We'll just call it hate. Mono white hate. All right, let's see what we can do with this nonsense. Nothing like a hate bear deck. Pain Train. That sounds like an aggro deck if I ever heard one. We get to go first. Oh, High Noon right off the bat. Nice. No soup for you. I like that. No soup for you. Oh, you're right. I was thinking the fact that I can make treasures with Fountain Port, but you're probably right. I should probably have at least 1. I don't like running a mountain in the deck, though. Maybe a couple of Elegant Parlors. But you're right, I do need to have at least some kind of red in the deck. Is this like I've not played this many control decks in one night. That's all we've been playing all night is control. Bandits Hall. This is miserable. Well, I mean, if they don't have an answer to this, it's gonna kill them pretty quick. Sunfall. Can't cast off on my turn. Sunfall again. Control is not what we want to be going up against. This is more to hate on mid-range decks. Nobody cares about your lockdowns. Fountain port for the opponent. Chimley, the inner sun. Well, I can blow that up. Oh wait, Chimley doesn't even work with High Noon on the battlefield if they cast anything. I'm still gonna get rid of it. Another Abolisher. I'm gonna play a Beza because they can't counter it. I get to draw a card at least. Opponent is reading the Abolisher like, what? This card doesn't really see play, so there's got to be at least some people who are very confused. We get a treasure out of it since our opponent has more lands than us. Opponent's gonna make a fish. Block with the fish. Still cost him 1 life. Aw, man. Sure. Get rid of this fountain port. No fountain port for you. Another Bandit's Hall. Opponent's gonna start using their map tokens. If they were smart, they would just activate their anchorage, but they get a land. Played land. Egra's ward ability is fun. What do you mean, sacrifice of food? I don't have any food. How do I kill it? Opponent goes for another map token. Sunfall on top. Well, they can't cast anything on my turn, so. Go ahead, Sunfall. See if I care. I'll just make 2/2s every turn forever. And play another Grand Abolisher. They want this Abolisher off the field so bad. But now they have to worry about Wanderer. High Noon is still annoying because like they can't do more than one thing a turn, so. Opponent's going to activate their anchorage, go after the Eternal Wanderer. Sure.
My turn.
Opponent gets more land. Meticulous Archive, Surveil. It looks like they kept it on top. What are they gonna do now? They can't cast. Well, they haven't cast a spell yet. Prayer of Binding.
eyes sharp.
I think I am going to regret not having a red mana for this High Noon, but we do have a Fountain Port somewhere in the deck, so. Let's go ahead and bounce the token. We have 7 mana, so we can play either of these and pay for No More Lies. I think I'm going to play the Beza and draw a card. Make a treasure. The treasure will let us sacrifice the High Noon. They can cast No More Lies, but we have the mana to pay it. Oh, they have 3 steps ahead. No! Alright. Now the opponent's getting annoying. Meticulous Archive. I'm so tired of playing against control decks today, man. Like, we're kind of a control deck, but at least we're doing stuff.
I've suffered worse.
Jace on top, that's a problem. Oh my gosh, alright, more lands. I guess let's reset this Bandits Hall. Or make them draw a card with it at least. Yeah, I know, but I knew I could exile these guys, but I was trying to get rid of the creature tokens. Since he can't they can't just come back. Like, he still gets the Bandits Hall back at the end. I don't think we're gonna win this game though, because he can play Jace and plus it on our Archangel and just keep on plussing it. So I think I'm gonna scoop it up if I don't draw something relevant this turn, just to save you guys.
I've made it just in time.
Oh, he's got his own Wanderer? Okay.
Have a nice trip.
Pretty sure there's nothing we can do from here. Oh well. Facing a control deck right off the bat was probably not where we wanted to be. So let's find us some aggro or some mid-range or something. Lillywug. Opponent goes first. We got a pretty hateberry hand. Rabbit. Uh-oh. May not be fast enough to beat rabbits on the play. Oh, I forgot to add the red mana to the deck. Oops. Okay, High Noon doing a little work. They probably have another rabbit they could cast this turn, and now they can't do it. So I'm going to pass and even interrupt whatever they play this turn. Like that. No. No, no, no. You keep that in your in exile somewhere where it can't hurt us. Beza, very good here. Then we can play Mother of Machines next turn. Opponent only gets to look for 1-drops. They find 2 1-drops, really? Wow. They can't cast them though. Ha! Alright, time to see if our opponent knows how to read their cards. Because we basically just shut their deck down. Yep. Oh no, where's your scry? Please, please. Oh, they're reading it. They're like, wait a minute. I was supposed to scry. Please play Pop Hatch Recruit, because I don't think he realizes that it has to enter the battlefield and trigger the... Aw. Oh, wait, they couldn't play 2 cards anyway. What am I talking about? Let's Anointed Peacekeeper. Take a peek at that hand. They have 5 creatures. I guess Case of the Gateway Express is our biggest fear, right? But they can still cast it because it only makes it cost 2 more. So I guess the war leader is the card we're gonna hit. Because they can't like play a creature and Case in one turn, so another Might Caller. Oh, and Case doesn't do anything with Mom on the field anyway. What am I talking about? Oh, I love Elish Norn. Opponent is very frustrated that they can't cast more spells. Another Peacekeeper. I guess let's do it. Play another Peacekeeper. Let's hit Hop to it. No Hop to it. Slowly beat them to death with an Aven Interrupter. Alright, they can cast their Hop to it now. Oh, they did it! It doesn't work! You don't get Offspring. No, no Offspring for you. At least speed our clock up a little bit. I can't believe we actually, like, they had a decent start. High Noon completely just demolished this deck. And then that in combination with Elish Norn, like, that doesn't do anything. They're just like, something work, please! None of my cards work! Why? Oh, thank you for suggesting this deck, guys. This is fun. Yells. You think they play red? They got a fire avatar and they're talking about yelling. This isn't the most exciting hand in the world, but it's got lots of removal. Golgari, alright. I can dig Golgari. No, thank you. Let's thin the deck out because I'm drawing a lot of lands. I forgot again to put the red mana in. Oh my gosh, I still drew a land. Annoying.
When I win, you're telling me what you know about the great man. Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
What you got in that hand? Nissa can go. Let's not have that going on. Well, I guess he can just tear us under this, right? We can even interrupt that though. We drew too many lands this game. Eight lands is too many. No. No, no, no. No drawing a bunch of cards, please. I love this guy. Look at him. He's just like, ha 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 ha. Yep, we'll discard our land.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Oh, they discard the Nissa, so now we don't have any reason to keep the Anointed Peacekeeper alive. There's a Vraska, that's a problem. They have another Nissa and a Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. We need to hit the Vraska, though. We can't attack with that because they have another Nissa in hand, so...
It's no fun when they hit back.
Well, they're just going to play a Flesh Gorger here, and then we're kind of sad about that. I don't think we got this one, ladies and gents. We're on top deck mode, and they have so many good cards in their hand. No reason to apologize. Welcome, Sarah. Better late than never. That's what I always say. And many others before me, because I'm not the one who invented that saying. Oh, come. Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Golgari guy, you win. You've defeated me by Jedi mind tricking my deck into giving me a lot of lands. Alright, we'll play one more with the Hate Bear deck, and then there's another deck I want to show you guys before I leave. Batfolk of Valley live their lives within rigid hierarchies, concerning themselves with balance on a cosmic scale. Ab. We go first. I like this hand. We got. Hey guys, I bet you can't guess what I forgot to add in the deck again, because I'm just so used to clicking play, play, play. Anointed Peacekeepers. I like him. I think he's a fun card. They're gonna take the get lost because that's a smart thing to do. I hope we just high noon. Roar, cowboy. Rule clause heist, okay. That's annoying. How does that work? If I even interrupt my own Phyrexian Vindicator, does it get plotted again on there for them? That's an interesting question. I guess we're about to find out. No. Guess we're not about to find out. Oh, we have another interrupter. We're gonna win by interrupting everything, because now they can't even cast our Phyrexian Vindicator. When they cast the Go for the Throat again, we're gonna interrupt it again, and then it's gonna cost 4 mana. And they can't cast another spell this turn. This is great! They don't want to give us the get lost. Down to 4. Now all we have to do is make a treasure with this fountain port and kill them with the high noon, right? They're dead. They can't cast anything else. If I had a mountain right now, I'd be winning with high noon. Sure. No! How am I gonna win now? That can't block. You know what? I'm gonna get him with the fish just because I can. I'm gonna get him with the fish. Oh, come on, let me slap you with the fish. No, I wanted to hit him with the fish. So rude. Okay, I'm not going to play another game with it, but I am going to add the mountain to the deck. Like a smart person. 1 mountain. Alright. So. This deck, I hilariously named Cleric Clapton. For any of you music lovers out there who know who Eric Clapton is. It is a Cleric tribal deck. Look at this nonsense. It's sort of like a little bit bats, a little bit not bats, a little bit ridiculous. But we're playing Shadowrite Priest, which gives all our clerics +1/+1. So, yeah, you're right. But where's the fun in that? I wanted to slap him with the fish. So we're gonna play this deck for a few minutes because this is fun. Entering match. RNZ. We played this guy already tonight. We're not playing anything like what we were playing earlier. All right. This is a good hand. Fortress. I forget what they were playing. Boros. Pilgrim. Play a channeler. I'm sure this Elias Core is about to die. Or not. They probably have a torch the tower for the channeler though. Yep. So predictable. Caretaker's talent. Boring. This deck is getting old. It's getting very old. No more talent for you. Yep. Archangel Elspeth.
Follow my light. This is our fight to win.
My goodness. Like, come on, dude. Guy just has every card he needs every single turn. Yep, start putting counters on your dude. Only whiffed the first one. Yes, Mr. Wrinkles. My sidekick. Another land. Oh, it's okay. He's just gonna... Okay, well, at least we get to get rid of Elspeth now. Ooh, wait, hold up. Ah, my goodness. I have to get rid of Elspeth. If he has a get lost, then that's just the news. It doesn't even get rid of Elspeth. What am I doing? For some reason in my brain, the damage from this goes to the Elspeth and it doesn't.
Ready arms.
Okay, well, we're not dead. Let's get back Elias Okor. Opponent's gonna make a fish with their fountain port. Or not. Why did they do that before combat? Why would they not block? What? Opponent doesn't know what they're doing.
Be intimidated.
They should have blocked and then sacrificed. Let's hope they don't just draw Sunfall here. I'm not gonna block. I can gain the life back. Oh, at least we get to keep our fish, maybe? Nope. Come on. Not gonna sit here and deal with this for another 30 minutes. So tired of that deck, man. It's almost as boring as playing against blue-white control. Almost. MF 908. We go first. It's a good hand. Player Shadow Ray Priest, gain a life. I'm sure it's not going to live through the turn. Mosswood Dread Knight, sure. No attacks. They go for the Throat Aura Reformer, which makes me think they have a Liliana in their hand, maybe. Cleric, Creature of the Schism. Gain a life, go attacking. Another Cottage, and a Glissa. I don't have an answer to Glissa. Very annoying. We need to draw an answer to Glissa. I mean, if he kills my Uneaten Feast, that's not the end of the world. Not gonna block just to save my case. If he's smart, he kills the case. There you go. And an Aquazot. Let's go! Block if you dare. And then the Starscape Cleric, we can Offspring next turn. Oh no! Oh wait, we have Hexproof. Ha! Metropolis Reformer! I don't play this in enough decks, so I forgot for a minute. Metropolis Reformer OP right now with all these discard decks. Give me the clerics. I'm fine with this. We don't have any cards in our hand anymore, so opponent's gonna lose some life. Want to make some Murex token. They flip their Aquazots back over, that's fine. Another Metropolis Reformer. Go get a Zora line. Gain some life, drain the opponent. I think they decided to do that a little late. Alright, what do they got? They have removal for Zora line, we're sad, but no removal for Zora line. Another Shadowrite Priest. When it's gonna double block the Zora line, that's fine. They go up to 5. And that should be GG unless they have like a board wipe or something. That doesn't do anything. Well, Virtue is annoying. I don't have enough mana. Get another Zora line. At the very least, they can't attack with their Acklezats now. So they're still in quite a bind here. If they don't attack with the Acklezats, they just die to the attack trigger of Zora line because I can get back another... Oh, I guess I can't get back another Starscape Cleric, but... Innkeeper's Talent, sure. You put counters on Acklezats, go for it. Oops. There we go. GG. All right. One or two more games with the Cleric Clapton. The Brit. We get to go first. I wish I could play the case first, but that's okay. Ooh. Mono green. I can dig it. Pretty sure we do well against mono green though. Innkeeper's Talent, sure. No blocks. Cleric. Get in there. Outcast Trailblazer, alright. Grows the adaptive, draw, well, they get a mana, which they can use to play something else. Like a Paw Patch recruit, very nice. Put a counter on something. You got it. No blocks. I think we play Convocation. They don't find some reach damage here soon. I might just block with the Elias Core this turn, since I have another one in hand. Level 2 on the talent. We've been fortunate they haven't had any fight spells yet. There's a Contaminator. Draw a card. Alright, let's block the Trailblazer. We find a land, that's good. So let's play Pilgrim. Draw a card. Gain a life. Get a bat. Gain a life. And we've got Get Lost for days, so I'm pretty sure we're okay. Another Trailblazer, sure. If they get rid of Zoraline, we're in trouble. If they finally found a bite spell, then that's probably... They decide to get rid of the Pilgrim, though. Which honestly doesn't make sense, especially since it was an actual fight spell, so they lost their adaptive. That's not how I would have done that. I definitely would have gotten rid of Zoraline there. Sure. Alright. They level up the Innkeeper's talent, that's a problem, but it's not the end of the game. Oh, is this good enough? Oh wait. We can block with everything and then they lose 4 life. And then we just play a creature and gain a life, and they lose to the Lunar Convocation. Why did they activate this? If they would have just leveled up one of these Innkeeper's talents, that would have been game. Now they're just dead. GG, opponent. They made some questionable choices, if we're being fair. Eric Claret Clapton beats Mono Green. GG. We're almost up to Plat 3, Diamond 3. All right, one more. Chill, Bill. I like it. We go first. This is all right. Get our concealed courtyard down. They're gonna bounce it? Okay. They have a bounce spell in hand. Counter? Nope. That's fine. I'm actually kind of happy about that. Another bounce spell? Oh gosh, alright. They don't counter it. Weird. Me too. Thanks for joining. Braided net. Oh, we can kill the braided net. I don't think we're gonna do that right now, though. Yeah, there was some pretty fun stuff at the beginning. I think we're gonna play Reformer. Gain some life. Our opponent's probably gonna tap our Pilgrim. Yeah, there we go. There's the land. Can't counter it. GG. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. All right. Well, it has been a fun and exciting evening. I've had an absolute blast playing with you guys. It was fun going over all the spoilers. This is a lot of fun, and I'm glad I get to do this with you guys every week. So just keep in mind, every week, Wednesday at 8 EST is when I start. I usually stream until about 11 EST. So make sure that you are subscribed if you have not already. Hit that like button and hit that bell icon so you get notified anytime I post a video or go live. I will have another video going up Friday that will be a fun one, so keep your eyes out for that. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. So with that, I will catch you guys in the next one.